Hi, my name is Partha, and I'm the CEO of Better Walk. I love to play sports, and a couple years ago, I experienced something that all athletes will experience at some point in their career, and that's injury. When I broke my ankle playing basketball, I got to spend the next 6 weeks of my life on crutches, and I found out I hated them. And the reason is when you're using crutches, all of your weight is taken by your forearms, and they weren't meant to carry your body's weight. So your forearms get fatigued very quickly. And then you think, where can I rest? The only place you can rest is on the underarm padding. And when you rest on that padding, that can cause pain in your underarms right off the bat just because you're pushing up into a sensitive area of your body. And then on top of that, you can get chafing through the whole crutch motion, and you can get damage in your wrists from the torque because all of your weight is directed through your forearms, in through your wrists, onto the handle, which isn't angled in a beneficial way for the motion. And then on top of all of that, you can even get nerve damage, which can be permanent just from resting on the crutches when your forearm gets tired. When I was on crutches, I was using the standard underarm crutch, which you can get for about $60. And when I experienced all of these problems, I decided, let me do a little research and see what I can find. And I looked online and I found a crutch called Mobile Legs, which is about $130. Now, Mobile Legs looks really cool at first, and I was really excited, but as I looked into it, I thought, what's really different about this device? When you're using it, all of your weight is still carried by your forearms. When you rest, you still rest on your underarms. So it's almost the same as wrapping a towel around the underarm padding of your normal crutch, which was the only solution suggested by all the doctors I talked to. So then I did some more research, and I found the forearm crutch, which is about $120. This is great because when you rest, all of the weight's not in your underarm. But because it doesn't touch your body at all, when you're going through the crutch motion, it's really hard to balance. And on top of all of that, if you don't fall, there's a lot of torque on your shoulder because that's the one part of your body that's keeping the motion together. And there's been a lot of shoulder injuries recorded with the use of this crutch. And then there's 10 million people in the US each year that experience these problems. That's a $600 million market where every 30 seconds, somebody in the US needs crutches. And half of you out there today, at some point in your life, will need to use crutches. And when you use crutches, you'll be using a device that's over 5,000 years old. Since ancient Egyptian times, the underarm crutch has not fundamentally changed. And that means it comes with the same problems that the ancient Egyptians experienced. It's a crutch that's so uncomfortable that people would rather put it down than use it through the rest of their rehab time. And when patients stop using the crutch before the end of their rehab time, they're 5 times more likely to get re-injured in that same part of their body. And at Better Walk, when we saw a problem like this that was glaring at us through the market, we decided to fix it. I'm proud to introduce to you the Better Walk crutch. The Better Walk crutch comes with a few key innovations, but the biggest one is our forearm support. We spent hours dissecting the crutch motion and every single force that's exerted on the body as you go through it. And we realized that with the underarm crutch, there's a single point of contact on the forearm when the user moves through the motion, and every user we studied pushes back against that support so they can get through the motion. And that's the most efficient way to do it. Well, instead of one single point contacting the forearm, we decided to have the entire forearm contact a part of the crutch so that you could distribute that load along your forearm and engage more of the muscle in that motion. In addition, we've angled the wrist support so there's now less direct stress on your wrist. And this is big because now when you're using the crutch, your weight is distributed between your forearm and your wrist, and not all of your weight is taken by your wrist, so there's a lower risk of hurting your wrist when you use the crutch. But here's what's really cool. We've created a new way to rest on this crutch. So now when you get tired, you don't have to rest on your underarms, but you use the side cuff, which holds you in through your crutch motion, and you can rest on your forearms. So when you need to rest and your forearms get fatigued, you're not risking injury and you're not hurting yourself. To get this product to market, we're using a direct sales model that focuses in on hospitals and orthopedic clinics. The purchasing decisions at these locations are made by the head orthopedic surgeon or the head physical therapist. And so we began with physician outreach to thought leaders in the space, to the orthopedic surgeons and the physical therapists who appear in numerous journal articles and looked to as leaders in the field by their peers. Next, we focus on patient awareness so that patients know that there's a better option. They know that there's something out there better than the underarm crutch. We'll form strategic partnerships with distributors so we can access a wider network of hospitals and clinics. And finally, we will attend trade shows so that physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons all around the country can try out our product. To achieve this strategy, we have a very strong team that's bringing BetterWalk to market through the FDA Class 1 exempt path. This means that when we finish our product, we don't have to follow any FDA guidelines or approvals to get into market. We just need to register and set up a complaints and record system, and we will be in market able to sell. In addition, we have an existing reimbursement code that clinics and hospitals can use. Our founding team consists of 3 biomedical engineers from Georgia Tech. My name is Partha Unnava, and I'm the CEO. I have a background in research and development at P&G. Our COO, Frankie Swindell, has a background in product testing at Abbott Molecular, and our CSO, Andrew Varghese, has a background in financial consulting for hospitals at Kurt Salman. In addition to our energetic team, we bring on board experienced mentors who supplement our skills, beginning with Dr. Fred Azar, who's the Chief of Staff at Campbell Clinic. Dr. Azar is also the first Vice President of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, which reaches 27,000 of the 28,000 orthopedic surgeons around the country. In addition, we have JP James, who's an experienced entrepreneur and is the director of the Executive Entrepreneur Society in Atlanta, where he has advised numerous startups, invested in numerous startups, and sold many companies throughout his career. We have Dr. Audrey Zucker-Levine, who's a University of Tennessee Health Science Center professor in biomechanics and runs a GATE lab, where she's helped us with the analysis and development of our product. We have Greg Mitchell, who's been our financial mentor throughout the program, Harold Solomon from the Georgia Tech Venture Lab, whose job is exclusively to help startups grow and learn business. And finally, Professor James Rains, who you already met, who has been encouraging us and was the first person who told us to apply to this program. When we came into the program, we came in with this CAD drawing and a small knowledge of the problem. We knew that there was a problem with crutches, and we wanted to fix it. And as we moved through the program, we moved through various iterations of our design, built PVC models, and finally arrived at our first metal prototype, which is on display outside. In addition, we filed for a trademark and provisional patent on our design. We've set up a university study at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, where we'll be showing that our crutch is more comfortable and just as, if not more, energy efficient than the regular crutch. And finally, we've set up a pilot study at the Campbell Clinic. And for those of you who don't know the Campbell Clinic actually wrote a book called Operative Orthopedics that's the leading field reference manual for orthopedic clinics around the world. And in fact, is looked to as the leading clinic for new orthopedic technology. But we're not the only ones excited about our product. We've had 2 orthopedic clinics and a hospital offer to help us with the testing and development of our product by letting their patients try it out and give us feedback. That's Performance Physical Therapy in Georgia, Campbell Clinic in Memphis, and Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And the 3 of these result in over 3,500 crutches sold per year. We're asking for $300,000 to make this possible, which would go toward our FDA registration, converting our provisional patent to a utility patent, spending the first part of this fall finishing our product and finalizing our design, and finally taking pre-orders that we've acquired over this fall and putting in money for our early manufacturing costs and inventory build as we grow and scale our company. Alan Kay once said, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." At BetterWalk, when we saw a 5,000-year-old problem that half of you will experience at some point in your lives, we wanted to invent a better future. My name is Partha Unnava, and I'm the CEO of BetterWalk. Thank you for your time.